To the top left for EG. Core and Hope. He is
EG Stephano lead core.
last foreigner standing here in GSL.
And he's up against a Protoss player who has faced a lot of Zergs in Code A in the last season. To the bottom right of the map, we have with a 1-0 lead in this group, the MVP player called
MVP Lure.
Pylon in the main. Could be Gateway play, in fact.
Could be Gateway, could be Hidden Forge. And I talked a bit about Lure's run already, and to give you once again an idea, Lure was able to take down Jaedong in the first round of Code A with a 2-1. In the second round, he had to face Effort, another Zerg player, and he won in the best of 3 without dropping a map. He only lost against the third Zerg player that he faced, and this was his own teammate. It was DRG, and even against DRG, he took a map. So Stephano has to be a little bit careful here. Yes, he's the favorite player, he's the player with more experience, the one player that has achieved a lot more than Lure did in his career. But Lure is a bit on a roll against Zerg, and Stephano has to be quite careful what he does here. If he underestimates his opponent, then Lure will punish him.
Yeah. Lure is doing a very interesting build. He goes Gateway, late gas, just slightly. Will he go double gas here? I don't think so, but well, there's the second gas now, so double gas before core indeed. And this lends itself probably to a 1 Gateway Sentry expand, but that's a build we don't see often anymore these days, but on this map it can work out, especially when you get lucky and you have cross spots like this.
Yeah, what you have with the build order that Lure just chose to do is you're not as safe as you would be with a Forge expand if you go in for 1 Gateway expand, but at the same time your tech will be so much faster because you don't have to invest those additional minerals and time into the Forge before you start with your Gateway and then go into the Cybernetics core.
Yeah.
Stephano is also taking a few risks here. What you don't want to do on a small map against Protoss is start with a hedge first, especially if there is going to be a Forge opening, because cannon rushes are always a possibility for a Protoss that tries to be aggressive. But Stephano on this map, he just gambles a little bit and he's like, well, you're not gonna scout me really early and I can get away with a hedge first and can start my pull a little bit later, which is exactly what he did.
Yeah, and he carefully checked twice with a drone to make sure he was not being cannon rushed. One thing that Lure has not done at all is scout. He has no idea where Stephano is even spawned. At this moment in time, he can guess that Stephano is not to the bottom left, because otherwise the Overlord probably would have already gotten to his base. But otherwise, he has no idea. And we will see him put some gateway pressure on here. This is, I mean, it's funny to call it just the first Stalker tech, but I mean, it really is in this matchup tech, and that fast moving ranged unit is going to come and scout and be able to put a little bit of pressure on Stephano.
Stephano realizes immediately that there is a Stalker, and I feel that the Overlord is just barely able to get away.
Definitely gets away here.
Think about how annoying it would have been for Stephano if Lure would have scouted the Stalker, the Overlord a little bit later, then he suddenly loses the Overlord and everything has changed. But as it is, the Overlord escapes, doesn't get scouting information though, and Lure is going into this trademark Stargate style.
Yeah. Question is, will he go double Stargate? We have seen this in the past. Oh wow, he does not see the Nexus. Stephano now has to be a little bit more cautious. He starts 2 spines. It could be a 4-gate. He doesn't know. He has no idea. The Overlord was denied. The Lings were denied as well.
Oh, wow.
He has to make spines and make Lings.
He builds 22 Zerglings here, and this is really, really bad for Stephano now. This is a lot of lava that he suddenly sacrificed.
And it's not going to work against this wall. He cannot use it to pressure. Once the attack does not come, he's like, well, that's 11 drones I could have had.
It's not like he can suddenly build a Baning Nest. Yeah, he could, but he doesn't really have the gas to completely pull this off, and we will also see more sentries for Lure coming out very soon. So it depends a little bit on what exactly Lure is trying to do now. Will he hide the Phoenixes and trying to just fly in with them? We don't really see a waypoint just yet, so it looks a little bit like he's going to hide them and then go into Stephano's base. And without any Spore Crawlers, Stephano will lose a lot of queens.
By the way, Stephano does not have Metabolic Boost. So this attack that he wants to execute now because he doesn't know what's going on, this is kind of a scouting attack. He had the Lings to be safe, now he's going to try to scout. He's going to be able to accomplish literally nothing with this. And if he traps these Lings with sentries, he could kill a lot of them too. Decides not to, or I guess he wasn't paying attention.
Stephano also has a bit of an Overlord problem. He was supply block before, and now again he's nearing a supply block, as is Lure, who started his pilot now. And does this actually limit his Phoenixes? Yes, it does. He only has 2. He forgot the pylon, so he can now start his, the last Phoenix a little bit later than he originally wanted to.
Yeah. I guess that's true.
Yeah, he could have had those Phoenixes out a lot faster. He already started the Phoenix in the Stargate and then realized that he was lacking 1 pylon and had to build it and lost a lot of time here.
Yeah, I think it's really important actually in a situation like that sometimes to even kill one of your own units if you are trying to do a timing like this, but Stephano still doesn't know what he's facing. He hasn't started the Spore, he has no vision of the Stargate whatsoever. And as soon as he sees it moving across the map, he will start Spores immediately. He's playing this 2-base right now, and to be honest, I'm not sure what his long-term plan is going to be because he doesn't have a lair even started.
And there with 4 Phoenixes, Lure is moving out, and he will be seen by an Overlord very, very late in the game. Lure doesn't even stop at 4 Phoenixes, he's going straight into 5, and in the meantime Stephano now starting his own lair tech, but this is going to get so interesting, especially since there are still no spine crawlers being built.
Yeah, he starts the Robo Bay now, so he can produce Colossi behind this. Oh, Stephano is just getting all the wrong cards here. Now he will lose his queen. So far away from any help whatsoever.
Spore crawlers have been started. First queen is down. 3 are remaining. And here come the Phoenixes. Can they take down additional ones? He has to micro very, very well.
I think he will be able to get 1 more. I'm not sure if he'll stick around longer than that. Well, the next Phoenix is going to arrive.
Exactly. The next Phoenix is already on his way, so he can go in again if he wants to. He took down 2 queens already. But let's keep in mind that the Spore Crawler by now is complete.
Yes. Now Lure is going to go kill Overlords on the map. He's already killed 1. He wants to go and scout that 3rd base. He sees the 3rd is not at this location. Oh, Stephano's creep is really impressive.
Stephano's getting a lot of Zerglings. He's getting 20 additional ones without a Painting Nest. He can't really break through. He can, for now, make sure that there's no 3rd base for Lure, but still, this is something where he has to be very careful if he overproduces. How many drones does he actually have? He's at 49. It's not a lot.
Yeah, since his 3rd base isn't even up yet, his drone count being low, I guess, is okay for now, but having a 3rd base doesn't matter if he doesn't get those drones out. And Lure has a great defensive position, like you said, with those sentries. He's not going to break through that wall. He's even getting Colossi right now.
The only thing that Lure is now trying to do is just do some damage, maybe pick off a queen and he gets another one. Can take it out easy. Oh, he loses the Phoenix. That was unfortunate.
You know, you don't really choose which Phoenix lifts, generally speaking. I don't know how that AI works, but I guess he picked up with the wrong one. It looks like Lure wants to just get an army out that allows him to walk over and stand on top of a Nexus that he makes at his 3rd, and Stephano is going to lose a bunch of drones. Any drone he transfers here is going to have to become a Spore or face decked.
Another thing that Stephano just doesn't have is Aspire. He does not have anything against Colossi, and this is the standard transition. We have a lot of... Yeah, we actually have a ton of Spore Crawlers being built. He's getting another 2 now. And this is also just resources that Stephano is lacking. It's the drones that he's building, it's the investment into the Spore Crawlers themselves. Stephano's just trying to get a good economy up, but he's already behind supply.
Yeah, I mean, he made those Spores partially because if he didn't turn those drones into Spores, they would have died. I thought maybe he would cancel, but he didn't have enough queens to go and save the drones and then cancel them. So he had to let them finish. And that costs money. That's like paying money to lose those 2 drones because you never want to have this many Spores. You want to be able to defend the queens and infestors once we get to like the 12-30 mark.
Stephano just saw the Colossus, so he should have seen it. So this is one of those situations where you should immediately start his Aspire if you want, and there it is. Starts the Spire, has already a few infestors, but the main question is when will Lure move out? He could use the Phoenixes to just pick up the infestors.
Yeah. And he is going to pick off another Overlord here, it looks like, or he wants to. Those 2 Spores ending up being actually quite useful. The funny thing is those infestors hesitated to attack the Phoenixes, and the Phoenixes hesitated as well. They weren't certain who would win that fight. If you kill 3 infestors and lose 4 Phoenixes, that's actually generally okay.
Stephano is now also getting Neuroparasite. One of the reasons definitely being him not quite sure if he has the time to get the Spire and the Corruptors out, but also because with the Infestors he has another weapon against his opponent's Colossi. So that will help him a little bit in the fight, and it's actually a really good choice given the money that he had.
Yeah, he starts 19 drones.
You know what's really impressive? His creep spread against Protoss. Because most Zerg players against Protoss are really slacking off with their creep. They don't really get a lot of creep tumors out there. and Stephano's at the 14th minute mark is already reaching more than half of the map of Whirlwind, which is actually crazy. This is like the creep spread that you would maybe expect against a Terran player, but not against Protoss. I really like it.
I am impressed by it as well. As I was saying earlier, he spread it not only to his third, but in two directions so he could comfortably later take his fourth, and it kept Lure guessing a little bit. He had to check both locations. Ultralisk Cavern here does not cancel it with the Phoenixes. It is scouted though right away.
It's scouted.
I think Ultralisk in this situation make a lot of sense because there's no mortals out on the map. He knows this very well. And he already has the upgrades coming out here. I like this a lot. You know, there are only certain situations where Ultralisk can be good.
I'm pretty confident that in a ranking or if in a poll, the Ultralisk would have a really good choice ending up the most useless unit in Wings of Liberty. They would at least make it into the top 3.
Hey, don't forget about the Battlecruiser.
The Battlecruiser is hard to get, but once you have it in huge numbers, it's not really that useless. The Ultralisk is combining both. The tech path and the uselessness.
Well, we'll find out what Stephano can make work here. I feel Lure has... He's now going to move out and hit this timing, but he's been a bit passive, and this is really crucial timing. If Stephano can get the Ultras out before the attack hits his bases, he should be okay, but if they're spawning after all of his support units are dead, then he's not going to be happy about that. That's where this counterattack is going on.
If he gets the Ultralisk with good funnels, then they can do a lot, but he needs to get the Infestors into play and make those funnels work. But now, first of all, we have 2 attacks. One is immediately being blocked, and all those lings are now going to be Shashlik. There is just no chance for them to survive. And
yeah. About 20 Harvesters killed by those lings, though, and in fact, he gets in here. He has that Adrenal Glands upgrade.
A very, very late warping attempt by Lure here, but he warps a few units in the main base just to buy time.
And good blinks here by Lure, but he will lose those Stalkers. The Adrenal Glands is just too much. The upgrades are too good. This is exactly what Stephano needed to get those Ultras out, and in fact, he's slowing this push down a little bit more. He needs to save his lings, though. He needs support so that he can get those fungals and then hit the Ultras in at the last second. 3 more Ultras about to pop out. 3-3 is not done yet.
And here we go. Lewis trying to be aggressive. Can Stephano get the fungals that he needs with this unit composition? He only has 3 Ultras so far, but another 3 will be there very soon, and here they come.
Good position on some of these units, but the Colossi are still uncontested. If he gets Neurals, he should get those, and he does. Immediately, all the Colossi are Neurals, and he bungles the Phoenixes.
Oh my god, he gets the Neurals, and this is horrible. The Phoenixes could have actually just gotten in and get the Graviton Beam after the funnel was done. He's blinking in and now trying to make sure that those Colossi can do something.
This could not have been better for Stephano, I feel, you know, considering how they engaged.
Lure did not see the Infestors coming. You could really see that he had no idea they were coming from the right side. All of them are clumped up and just moving in. He got all the Neurals off.
The creep spread here makes this so much more useful. The Ultralisk, even the Lings, able to come and catch these Blink Stalkers so much easier than he would have off creep.
Stephano is a genius when it comes down to setting up flanks and luring his opponent into a trap. And this is what we saw. The Protoss player walking into the middle of an army that was split in 4 parts, and they all engaged at the same time. The Infestors with a Neural. Everything worked so well, and suddenly Lure just got crushed.
Yep. GG. Stephano ties his score and ties Lure's as well. Both pairs now on 1-1.
Very, very well done by Stephano here. That split in the end was sick. That was exactly what won him the game. Yeah. Very, very well done.
His creep spread really made this composition work a lot better too. I mean, yeah, the split would have worked off creep or on any situation really, but the follow-up after he got that initial engagement was so easy for him with that creep. He just chased those Stalkers down, crushed the army a second time, and that's the Stephano that everybody knows and loves in Zerg vs. Protoss.
So Stephano now with the 1-1 in the group, and Marine King with the 2-0 is still leading the group. Stephano is currently taking 2nd place because, of course, he is tied with Lure, but because he won the direct comparison, he is ahead in the ranking. And we are heading into a short break.
Yes.
And as soon as the break is done, we will see the final 2 games. We have 6 games in total today. So make sure that you tune in for those. Let's see who's going to advance today. It's going to be Marine King on Stephano. We're going to find out here at the GSL Up and Downs with Colin Wolf. See you in 5.